Hello everybody, Myotismom here, and today we're gonna be reading a creepypasta, or not really a good creepypasta, it's actually kind of a shit pasta, but figured I'd try something new, and maybe if this works out I could actually read some more. Anyway, let's get this thing started, shall we? I just want to tell you that I love the Beatles cartoon. They have great music, great talent of their albums, t-shirts, and items. I even enjoyed the old cartoons that the Beatles that was made in the 60s, but it wasn't long until I found out that there was a morbid secret to the cartoon. I was at a collector's shop where they had a section about the Beatles. I was looking for some Beatles mugs and pins too. God, this guy really loves Beatles. I bought 2 Beatles mugs and 4 Beatles pins, and I was just about to leave in the Beatles section. Something caught my eye. Why don't you say Beatles like 5 or 6 more times in one sentence? I'll make you seem more relevant. It was a videotape called The Lost Beatles Cartoon. I really wanted to get it, so I told my mom that I want to buy it, and when I went to tell the counter worker that I would like to buy the tape, he said I couldn't have it. He told me that he watched it and he had nightmares. What a great thing to say, you know. You couldn't say like, oh, this cartoon's way too morbid, or this is so fucked up, yet for some reason I'm selling it. Instead, just like, it gave me nightmares. It's just, oh my god. I was surprised I said that about the tape, because it was the Beatles. How can a cartoon about a band be scary? Insert One Direction joke here. But he said, never mind, you're just going to have nightmares anyway. Give it. What the fuck? Okay, selling the tape in the store is just like bad enough, but then suddenly you're just gonna go and like give the little kid the tape that is morbid. Seriously? Stupid. So stupid. He gave me the tape and I walked away. I saw him folding his hands like he's praying. Oh, just rely on God to do everything for you. I mean, it's not like he put you on the other side where you can do things on your own. Trust me, I believe in God, don't get me wrong, but I hate it when people are like too damn dependent on him. Like seriously, do your own shit. Don't rely on him for everything, he's a busy guy. I started to feel like there was something wrong with the tape when I got home. I immediately went downstairs to watch this mysterious video. And when the video went on, something weird happened in the beginning. It was the sound of screams, someone in agony. I was scared until the opening title was on. It was, like usual, the episode was called Because. I thought it had to do with the Abbey Road song, Because. I'm not sure why the Beatles would be referencing Abbey Road, but okay. And the cartoon played and something was wrong. It was totally different from the original style. It looked similar to the original, but it looked darker. And the episode showed all 4 Beatles in their original design: John, Paul, George, and Ringo. Oh, I love those rascals. They had voice actors that sounded like Paul Frees and Lance Percival. So 4 people that sound like only 2 different people. They were talking about some kind of CD they found outside the recording studio, and talking about listening to it, which is strange as CDs weren't made until 1976 and the show was produced in the late 60s. Maybe they traveled to the future, who knows. And as the scene showed, John was putting on headphones until it happened. Okay, let me get this straight. So, somehow a CD exists in their world, yet they have the right device to listen to it? But that's even weirder. Why do they have a CD player if CDs don't exist yet? Are you ever gonna touch upon this, or are you just gonna be lazy? So John all of a sudden looked like he just blacked out. Then Paul said, "John, are you alright?" And then the screams went up John, who had started drooling, and all of a sudden, John's eyes turned to an LSD acid trip image with weird colors. I think that's pretty much the inspiration for like most of the Beatles songs, so That's not really different from usual. After about 10 seconds of John's acid tripping face, something appeared. I grabbed the clicker. Okay, seriously, who says clicker anymore? As I accidentally spit on the screen. To see what it was, I saw was a morbid, grotesque picture of. It was a picture of a man with a ventriloquist dummy. Ooh, ventriloquist dummy, so scary. The scary part was that the man with the that the man with the dummy had no mouth. Instead, there was blood on his face. Where his mouth is supposed to be. Okay, seems legit. I mean, it could be a mask, but whatever. Dummy had fire in his eyes with an insane smell. Like, do you mean like his eyes were literally on fire, or like he was like getting pumped up? I'm not sure whether to take some of the things you say literally or like not literally, because it kind of keeps switching. I had to choke back some vomit after watching it, so I might get sick really easily. Then the screen went back to John's face. "Are you alright?" asked Ringo. "Seeing is not believing, seeing is killing," said nothing. John soon got back to consciousness and said, Yes I am. What time is it, George?" "It's 1:13, said George. Said George 5 or 6 more times. And the screen went back black, and blood started to rain down. But this blood was hyper-realistic. Oh, God. You just ruined what little horror or suspense you could possibly get in the story. I'm sorry, you did. It looks so real that if I touched the screen, I would get blood on my finger. That line was... You just stole a line from Squidward's Suicide. What the hell? What the hell? Are you really that unoriginal? And there's also no real build-up to it either. It's just... acid trip, then suddenly leaks blood for no reason. The blood rain soon disappeared, and soon showed the Beatles walking to a lake. A crowd of girls soon started to chase the guys for about 30 seconds. Okay? And then all of a sudden, a picture of a girl with no eyes, just her sockets dripping with blood. Because that hasn't been done like a million times before. Oh wait, it has. She had no teeth and more blood was pouring out of her mouth. Is this whole story just gonna be, oh, dead person, blood, puppets, blood, 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 blood? I hate to say this, but as much as I love Squidward's Suicide, I think his creepypasta, like, literally killed the creepypasta community, because now everyone's just trying to, like, copy it, and it's just making the stories repetitive and annoying. There was another picture of a Zalgo victim that was popular on Creepypasta. Are you seriously gonna make references to other creepypastas in a creepypasta story? You do realize how, like, irrelevant it makes you sound? How dated this could end up being in, like, 3 minutes? Why did you do that? You just made your story hard to take seriously. Then the scream went to John's face, and then all of a sudden, the screaming of the fans stopped. I guess John's beauty was just too much to handle. And all four of them turned around to check. All the fans were on the ground, burning to crisp somehow. What the fuck? Paul clearly petrified asked what happened. Oh, I'm sorry. What happened? Then the scene showed Ringo vomiting out red vomit with chunks of brown meat. That's lovely. And something caught my eye. I paused and looked closely at the vomit, and there was the face of Hitler. So, let me get this straight. Ringo just pukes out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden, Hitler is in his puke? Is that what Hitler's been hiding all this time? Like, He didn't shoot himself in the bunker. He's just been hiding in Ringo's vomit the whole time. Did Ringo eat Hitler earlier? Where the fuck is Hitler in his blood? Like, that doesn't even make sense. It's not even scary either. If anything, it's actually more humorous. It's like, it's just so out of nowhere. It's like, oh, he's puking all his blood and guts, and it's like, oh, there's Hitler. So why not? Fucking Hitler. Well, he's not even... Hitler really isn't scary as much as just kind of an asshole. Not really kind of an asshole, he's a complete asshole, but... Hitler's not really scary, per se. Really, his army is what is frightening. So, you know, your life, especially, mostly if you're Jewish, or... You know what, I'm getting too deep into this. I was shocked that a man who killed millions of people and soldiers won a cartoon about the Beatles. So you're not shocked that Ringo randomly pukes Hitler, you're just shocked that he's in a cartoon. Really? After that Hitler comment, it's like, it's gonna be impossible to take this story seriously. Like, are you sure this isn't a troll pasta? Because, like, I wouldn't be surprised if this was. I mean, all the lines stolen from Squidward's suicide, the unintentional hilarity it brings. Never mind. Oh, as John Lennon would say about the situation, just forget about. Don't you mean just forget about it? Just forget about. Apparently John Lennon doesn't care to finish his sentences anymore. What about our fans? Said absolutely nothing. I don't give a fuck. Said absolutely nothing. I'm trying to hear this with, like, the actual Beatles voices just makes it even funnier. I was shocked that the episode involves John saying fuck. I'm sure you have Ringo puking Hitler and blood dripping down the screen, but John Lennon saying fuck? That's just going too far. I decided to continue on. Next scene showed a building that was about to be demolished. The Beatles were walking down a hallway when the wrecking ball hit the building. A piece of rubble went flying in the air and it was about to miss a person when John did the unthinkable. He pushed the man to where the piece of rubble was about to fall, and in a second, a piece of solid marble crushed the guy to death. Realistic blood and brain spatters went everywhere. Oh, don't you mean hyper-realistic? What the fuck does hyper-realistic even mean anyway? So, like, more realistic than real life? How is that really possible? How do you even know how to picture that in your mind? Oh, stupid virus. Just ignore it for now. The blood and brain matter looked like it was... You just said that! Like, why did you have to repeat that? Whoever wrote this was like 12 or something. A crowd of people surrounded the scene where the camera zooms up to John with an evil smirk on his face. Next scene always showed just this black screen. Ooh, scary. The whole thing I heard was a gunshot and there was smoke and seemed to represent the fired gun. Then the screen showed the recording studio where the Beatles record their music. The recording studio where Beatles recorded... No shit. There was no lights on and I did hear mumbling. I was close to hear someone saying, I shouldn't have done that. They're going to know soon. Then one light went on. On cue, there was a shadow outside the door. It was the form of John. It wasn't long until the light reflected into the sound manager in the recording booth. Dead. Who the hell turned on the lights? I quickly followed the Hitler the puke study. I quickly figured out that he was shot by a shotgun. Nice of you to take notice of that. It couldn't have been just a gun, it had to be a shotgun. Glad you took the time to research it while you were watching this thing that apparently scarred you for life. Camera zoomed up to the ground to the outside and to outside the room, and in a quick shot, a model M1887 fell to the ground with blood on it and bits of smoke still coming out of the barrel. Once again, life-threatening event, but it's a good thing I took my notes on guns and, like, studied them. I took the time, paused the video, completely just study guns. I don't study anything else. I don't study why Hitler was doing in Ringo's puke, but I do study what specific guns John Lennon uses. This kid is definitely 12 now, because now he's just having a bunch of Call of Duty guns. Also, when it comes to stories, guns really aren't scary. I mean, yeah, they'd be frightening in real life, but the thing is, when it comes to stories, guns really aren't, like, creepy most of the time. Like, unless they're written right, but most of the time it just makes you sound like a person who plays too many first-person shooters. The next scene showed Paul and George, and Ringo knocking on John's room door. And Ringo, for some reason, busted the door down. For some reason, I wonder why. Maybe because he wanted to check on John Lennon. He's been acting like an asshole lately. Just on to Elmer Fudd. And there was a humongous safe, the size of an SUV, or a SUV. They didn't know what the combination was, but for some reason it wasn't locked up all the way. That was a waste of time. They opened it and they found John's secret. He was a Satanist. Oh no. There was a dead body of a woman on a pentagram with blood with her eyes gorged out. There were dead animals, a fan-made Necronomicon. A fan-made Necronomicon. Are you sure this isn't a parody of a creepypasta? Oh, and the gold skull on a pentagram. Are you sure it wasn't a fan-made goat skull on a fan-made pentagram? In fear, George fell to the ground. Paul had to choke back and vomit. Oh, be careful, Paul McCartney, you might puke out Joseph Stalin. And Ringo, in a sad way, started crying. The crying from Ringo didn't sound like normal cartoon crying. It sounded as real as day. Once again, more lines took him from Squidward's suicide. And in shock, I found out that the dead woman was Ringo's fiancée, Jenny. Well, that's not really scary, that's just more depressing, really. I didn't know that Ringo had a fiancée, but I did take my time to study it, this exact moment. Well, I kind of came across it while I was studying all my guns and what type he specifically used. Very important to the story. I'm scared of... But I was scared that Ringo's crying started to get mixed with the screams of a girl. Ooh. I started to suspect that screams of Jenny, and the screen went black. Then the screen showed viewed the sun setting from John's legs. Lovely. The screen immediately went to John's face that had a mad expression with a rapid moving mouth. He had red in his iris, totally not cliche. He had a noose around his neck and he was about to commit suicide. He shut his eyes and jumped. Didn't John Lennon die earlier? What? Camera showed John's feet still swinging. Camera zoomed out to show John's lifeless body hanging on a small cliff on the lake. That the Beatles were still going to the beginning of the episode. The screen went back in black and Paul appeared with a sad expression. The screen went black again and the scary part began. So, blood dripping down and a mutilated fiancé wasn't the scary part. The scary part is, without warning, Paul's face appeared with hyper-realistic eyes. Oh no, it's not... I mean, it's not like Paul McCartney's a real-life person or anything that's still alive. Oh wait, he's a real-life person. His eyes are already realistic. That's not scary, that's like a shitty cartoon from the early 80s. At least that's how they were animated. It's not really that scary. Hell, Cartoon Network does that as a joke. I don't get this creepypasta. I really don't. There's so many camera views. I'm sorry, camera views of Paul's face, like, and zoom out him in the corner, and pictures appeared. I remember seeing a picture of a hand with a gun in it, and the gun was pointed at the little boy's head, and the gun was already fired. Way to overword that. At least you didn't name what type of gun it was specifically, like it was a 124 caliber pistol with bullets that are precisely 2,493 nanoatoms. A good thing at least can over research that. Another one was the river with a garfish in it. Is that a fish that looks like Garfield? Or, and right behind the fish was a body of a couple of bloody mess. The next picture was a burnt town. Like, so like Garfield the fish like murdered people, okay. People on the ground dead. Quickly I discovered that the town was destroyed during an attack. And it was destroyed because of the Vietnam War. Yeah, throw in the Vietnam War in there. Why not? That's not insulting to anybody. Next picture was 3 undertakers with 7 coffins with little children no younger than 6. Once again, nice research. And behind the left undertaker was a coffin with a hand coming out of it. And the hand was moving. Okay, how's the hand moving if it's a picture? That doesn't make sense. After more pictures, not gonna explain them, it shows Paul with the same expression they had before. The scary slideshow. Not really scary as much as it is depressing. Voice appeared in a low part voice saying, "Rich." Okay, once again, ripping off Squidward's suicide. This is the exact same shit Squidward did before he died. You got to be original. Otherwise your story won't be scary. In M1911, once again, more with the overnaming of guns, makes the story that much scarier. Colt pistol appeared in Paul's hands, like out of nowhere. Put the gun in his mouth and pulled the trigger. Realistic blood and brain matter went everywhere. Camera zoomed up to the capsule of the bullet that shot Paul, and the capsule said, okay, once again, exact same death as Squidward in Squidward. Suicide. This is the exact same shit. Now, why don't you just, like, completely copy the entire story and just replace Squidward with, John Lennon? Why not? You know, just why not? Couldn't make this any more of a copy. Anyway, the capsule said, your life was already over, Paul, even though Paul McCartney is technically still alive, so that was just a bunch of bullshit. Next scene shows George on a cliff at the same lake that John committed suicide. He was about to commit suicide too. Oh, now you're gonna copy out John Lennon's deal. Thought he was gonna jump off the cliff, but instead he pulled out a gun and shot himself. Aren't you gonna name that gun? I mean, you've been doing that throughout the entire story. Might as fucking well. At the end of the scene, the camera zoomed up to the gun, and the gun was the same gun Paul used to commit suicide. What a weird coincidence. Did George, like, just steal the gun from Paul McCartney just so he could shoot himself? Like, he couldn't buy any other gun. He was just like, I feel like killing myself. But I'm not gonna use any gun. I have to use the exact same gun that Paul used when he was performing his version of Squidward's suicide. Yeah, that sounds right. And the gun said, it takes 2 bullets to kill 2 Beatles. No shit. Scared me a little bit, sent chills down my spine. This guy is scared very easily. Next scene showed Ringo in the hospital, dying of a unknown disease. I call that being lazy, because, you know, you can take time to study, like, the names of guns, but the name of diseases, those never matter. When does the name of a disease ever matter in life? He took the picture of him and his fiancée in the engagement ring he gave her, and then he died. Okay. At the end of the episode, it appears to be a dark hall. All I hear was screams, whistles, whistle baby, whistle baby, yelling and gunshots. I soon found out that the hall was in prison for an Oakland Raiders game. Oh, suck on that. Americans. Even though I live in America, so technically I just insulted myself, but whatever. The scary part was that every time the lamp swings in the hall, a black hooded figure appeared. Oh! It wasn't long until I found out that it was John with gray skin and red iris. Again with the red iris. Also, what? What? What was the point of John committing suicide earlier if he's like just gonna come back later? That doesn't make any sense. He said, I hope you enjoyed your life because my life is over, including my friends, all because of me, John. Oh, I'm sorry, I'll read that one. I hope you enjoyed your life because mine is over, including my friends, all because of me, John. I'm sorry, it's just funny hearing like light-hearted voice sing stuff like that. Just brings a smile to my face. So unintentionally funny. And right behind him was a crowd of guards and prisoners. It seemed that some of them had bullet holes in their heads and blood all over their bodies. Aren't you gonna study what bullets the guns that use the bullets were from? You've been doing that throughout the entire story too. And the weird part was the person that was right next to John was Mark David Chapman. It scared me how the guy who killed Lennon was right behind the evil demonic cartoon John Lennon. Okay, I will admit that's actually kind of clever, you know, kind of bringing in Mark Chapman, although I figured they would just have him be the one to, like, murder some of the Beatles in, like, sadistic ways. I mean, you know, kind of make it realistic, you know, have the Beatles that are actually dead kind of die in the story and have the ones that survived kind of live in the story, you know, kind of making it users feel like, oh shit, this could have happened. Huge missed opportunity right there, though. Evil John and the crowd of prisoners and guards started walking straight like if they had been walking towards me. It's all about you, isn't it? The more they keep walking, the more blood they get on themselves. Well, I guess they'll be heading to the laundromat soon. John started turning to a snake. In a weird way. His eyes turned reptilian. His skin turned scaly. And his tongue was in the form of a snake. Okay, literally, now you're just ripping off, like, anti-drug PSAs. Like, really? Go rip off a fucking drug PSA. I mean, remember the guy that, like, who, like, slow turned the snake while he's like, hey, kid, you want some drugs? And, yes! It's literally ripping off that guy. Except while that commercial was unintentionally scary, this is unintentionally humorous. I went backwards and kept running to the opening credits to believe how stupid I was to believe that this was a nice cartoon. Oh no, one episode was sadistic. This must be a horrible cartoon. It wasn't long until something caught my eye. Is it another puke Hitler or... I looked closely at the bottom of the word because, and I paused it, the episode was actually called Beatles Cartoon because of John they're dead. Even though most of them are alive now and they're using the wrong there, it's T-H-E-I-R, just to be grammar Nazi. Apparently whoever made that tape didn't pass English class. I was about to take the tape out until the VCR went on fire. Probably went on fire the same way the Fangirls went on fire. Spontaneous combustion. I immediately got my mom in a fire extinguisher. Oh, it's a good thing you had your mother there, because otherwise how else would you put out the fire? When we put out the fire, I discovered that the VCR was still okay, but and more VCR tapes in, they've worked, but the only thing that was destroyed by the fire was the tape. Oh, how inconvenient. And it was the tape that started the fire. My mom and I went to collect a shop and brought the tape back. The counter worker in the Beatles section said, "What happened to the tape?" It was set on fire and then the tape ended, I said. Don't you mean after the tape ended, it set it on fire? Not it set on fire and then the tape ended. The tape was still going while it was on fire. I said he took the tape and threw it away, which you should have done at the beginning of the story. Then you won't have this laughable mess happening. Next day, I was in the car with my mom to take something back that my dad forgot to take to work with him. Just something, not gonna explain that. We saw police surrounding a house with 6 men were being retrieved out of the house. My mom was told by an officer that 6 men were arrested for drug possession and grave robbing. But why is she getting in other people's business? It wasn't long until stuff came out of the house, and there's stuff things people used for recording for cartoons. I even found drawings of what it said is a morbid cartoon. What are the fucking odds? It involved the Beatles. Police confirmed that they sold the tape to a collector's shop. Why are they taking this? I told the police I got the tape. They showed me the drawing to see if it was right. I got all of them right, and after telling them about the tape, they gave me a award of $200. Is that really necessary? Is that gonna, like, add more to your clip, or... I'm just gonna give myself $200, because I'm a super genius. Fucking Mary Sue character. What's that but it's ending with a fucking happy ending? What kind of horror story is this? I was glad that I got money, but that sight of seeing the tape scared half to death. Not all the way, but only halfway. Even the writer admitted that this wasn't scary. For 4 days I had nightmares. Oh no. Like 4 days you counted? You kept a little journal? Like, what'd you have nightmares about? Kittens? And then the nightmare stopped. The tape appeared on my front porch and said, "You shouldn't have watched that," but I threw it away in the trash and never seen that thing again. I wonder why the tape said that. All I can say is goodbye and see you later. What a shitty ending to summarize a shitty creepypasta. Wait, what was the point of the tape reappearing if, like, you're just gonna throw it away? Didn't even lead to anything, just said, the end. Obviously, you know my thoughts on this creepypasta. This is a very shitty creepypasta. Probably one of the worst ones out there. I mean, it mostly just consists of ripping off Squidward's suicide or being unintentionally funny. There was more moments where I just said, "What the fuck is this shit?" than it really is like, "Oh shit, I'm so scared." Nothing about the story is really scary. You know, unless you count it being so bad that it's scary, but honestly, it doesn't deserve that title either. That would be kind of honoring it. Personally, it's just one of those creepypastas that show that creepypastas are kind of shit nowadays. And it sucks that the best creepypasta, one of my favorite creepypastas of all time, Squidward's suicide, is the reason for this shit. Makes me feel ashamed to like it, just because of it, we have all these Squidward suicide rip-offs and knockoffs. People are so lazy. Cartoon you even did the creepypasta on wasn't even relevant. It was painfully outdated. Why a 60s cartoon? You really could have done this with just about any other cartoon, really. I mean, seriously. You could have done it with anything else, but no, just did it on this. Thank y'all for watching, and try not to cry with how stupid this story is. Bye.